I just accepted the rest. I got what's to be expected.
Sorry in advance for the poor sound.
Yeah, well,
This is why we make music videos.
Welcome
To the first creation explanation video. Today we're talking about Die Hard. So I want to start by talking about what we're most proud of for this project.
Really? I feel most proud of the execution. It was
Challenging.
Yeah, challenging. Challenging is the right word.
I'm most proud of our direction for this project.
There's a lot of kind of visual effects going on. Just we really had to direct her in what she's experiencing, like within this world that we're in.
Yeah, like, okay, this is when the color's gonna hit you, and the color's gonna feel, you want it to feel like it's filling you up and giving you life, which totally was a Pleasantville reference.
Oh, yeah,
There's a ton of
totally.
reference in this video. Or when she goes into the Midland world, it's when she's between the two doors.
Yeah.
And it's just a blank white set. Imagine you're seeing X, Y, and Z. And so Callie did a really amazing job. It is not easy to do that.
Totally.
So she did a really awesome job.
Good job, Callie.
Good job, Callie. And that was also the first project that we ever really worked on together. From concept development, we have little note cards of our terrible hand-drawn shots, which stayed very true. We really ended up pretty much right on the storyboard to pre-production to production and directing, and then all the way through post. And so that was the first one that I feel like was really our voice together. There's this part of the Creations brand where we always talk about sharing the balance. That's the whole idea of what a Creations project is. And so for us to really call something a Creations project, I feel like we have to talk about what the balance is. And so I think that there's two, and I think that stays true for all of our videos, but there's usually a conceptual duel and then a visual duel.
I feel like the visual duel within this video is that the black and the white and the color, obviously.
Yeah, the black and white and color was a big visual duel, and it directly referenced the conceptual duel, which the conceptual duel is kind of this transition between captivity to freedom, which just came from listening to the song. I mean, the song talks about these bad habits that die hard, and it's like, why do they die hard? And there's this element of, well, it's giving you some kind of freedom in the moment, whatever your bad habit is. And so you see her transition from her black and white to her getting a taste of freedom through the color, and then her chasing that, and then falling and basically shattering and emerging a new person. And that's really the conceptual duel of captivity versus freedom and what that transition looks like. And then of course at the end you have this whole focus on time, and I think that can feel kind of random, but there is an immediate reference. Bad habits, generally you're either one, trying to pass time, trying to skip time, something that feels bad, you're just trying to move forward, or you're trying to pause time and you're trying to stay still in this moment. And it all kind of relates back to our relationship with time. And so once she becomes this new person, she starts shattering these constraints and feeling trapped by time. And I feel like that was really important. This was one of the only projects that we've done that was fully shot in a studio. And that was really interesting because I think in so many other projects we rely really heavily on environment and location. And this one we had to create that location. So I think we went with 100 clocks, and we probably used like 15 or 20 of them on the set.
We had to deal with a lot of space here, which Film Studios was really good for that. And it was a lot of time. It was a lot of time. And Felipe came in really clutch with getting those lights together, and he went in, we told him what we wanted, and he looked at it, he was like, okay, I think I can do this.
He was like the professional guru, which was wonderful. Hallie's family was there, and that was really nice because they were able to help out with just little random things and kind of as a support, which was great, especially for the last scene, which was a very intense scene. It was almost emotional a little bit.
Yes.
Filming that scene. in the water, so the tub was filled with paint and water, so it was diluted, and the water just came straight from the hose that was outside the building, and it was freezing. It was cold. And so Callie was shaking from this cold water, and she did such a great job at... What I love about it, because it was so cold and it was such an intense moment, the emotion that you're seeing on her face is real. Like, that is straight up her emotion and her like pushing through this moment, and it just gave her such an amazing feeling on camera. I felt
it made it feel very vulnerable. Like she's just letting herself go.
Ended in a very surprising turn. So the pendulum, this prop that we had, this grandfather clock, it was a last minute prop. We had a really hard time finding one that would work, and so we had ordered it online, and when it came in, it was cheap. It was really cheap, and that pendulum was flaky, like it was not gonna hit and break anything. And so our Pops master went in and added weight to it, but it was basically a saw, and it was very heavy, and it worked really well for breaking, but because her hands were wet from the paint, it made it really hard for her to swing. And so we had a clock on the ground, and she went to go swing down, and it just sliced right through her hand.
It was weird that it wasn't the saw that actually cut her hand. It was a little piece from the pendulum.
Yeah.
Sliced her hand just bad. Pretty bad.
Yeah, she's had stitches, and we stopped production right there, and we had a couple more shots that we wanted to get, but that was it. That was what we could do, and it worked well. It worked really well. I think the ending was always a little like so I think that because that happened, we were just able to end it off in a really cool way with going back to the very first shot where it's none of the clocks are broken, she hasn't been dipped in paint, and it kind of referenced this in her mind thing that had kind of happened.
Going on in her brain. And she kind of takes control with her dress going over the clock and the clock rolling. It's almost like she's taking control of her time.
Lessons learned from this project.
I think one for me is trust your vision.
Yes.
Just trust it.
Yeah.
If you have something that's very challenging to do, go for it. Don't limit yourself. Go for it. And you might have to make a few adjustments here and there, but and people are telling you that it's not gonna work.
Yeah, we had to
try it.
Yeah, and we had to stay strong with this concept, with the paint concept. I mean, there are multiple times where it's like, I don't know about this, and people are like, oh, well, we can do it in post. We really wanted it to have a very in-camera feel. Like, we wanted it to look nice and
raw.
And raw, yes, and I feel like it definitely had that effect. Lessons learned for me. This was really my first time ever directing the talent, and one of the things that I think I really learned was the importance of taking control of the set.
Right.
That was really important because there were a lot of voices, and there was just a moment where I just had to say, and just take control of what was going on.
And she did a great job at directing. I was mainly directing the camera. Kayla took most of the direction for the acting and did a great job.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, and that was your first time ever directing a second camera while also filming himself, and so I think we both definitely had good lessons learned when it comes to directing. Sorry, battery exhausted. All good, it happens.
It happens.
Just our last little note, yes, we have another project coming out soon that we will be doing some of these videos for. It's a 4-part project. 4 music videos, kind of one message. It's called Wandering Through Creation.
Yeah.
And it is a very different project. It's just us, music by us, visuals by us, starring us, and so it's very different, and it's kind of personal, and I hope that will relate, and that you guys will really like it, and that you'll get a good idea of kind of who we are and what we're about. So as our last little goodbye, we will say create love.
And create life. Peace.
I can pick you